Hi, this is Catherine Ravenwood, and I'm the author of this book, How to Create Sacred Water, A Guide to Rituals and Practices, published by Inner Traditions and Bear and Company. I wrote this book some years ago, and it is the culmination of years of dedication to the water of the earth. In this book, I tell you the story of how I learned to trust Spirit, to listen to Spirit guiding me. Spirit said to me that I could create crystal homeopathic elixir that would heal the waters of Gaia. And in so doing, I came to create water altars, which I have shared that sacred water elixir all over, well, I won't say all over the planet, but in more than one country and in many, many states. And I've done this for many years. I've kept these water altars and offered my blessings to our beloved Gaia. Now, some people have asked me to share the guided meditations or spirit journeys that are written in this book. They were downloaded from me they were downloaded from Spirit by me. They were given to me specifically as part of the teachings of this book, and I'm very happy to go ahead and record these, and I hope that you enjoy them. And if you read the book, you can just follow along with this recorded journey, or read the printed version of it in the book. If you don't read the book, perhaps one of these meditations would still be useful to you. I just want to share it with you because this is very dear to my heart. So in order to do spirit journeys or guided meditations, we need to set aside some time, and maybe, I'm not sure how long this journey is, it might be 15-20 minutes. So you'll need to set aside some time, turn the ringer off your phone, give yourself a place to be comfortable. Maybe you want a blanket, maybe you want to lay down. Give yourself the space to go into sacred space and let Spirit commune with you. Now, you might get different information as I guide you through this journey, and that's okay. Just get whatever it is you get. That's the way Spirit's going to be talking to you. You might see things like a movie, you might hear things, or you might just know. But whatever it is, I hope that it's beneficial to you, and just allow Spirit to come through and share what it wants to share. So the first one we're going to do today is on the goddess Nut, who is one of the great Egyptian goddesses. She's our great star mother. The ancient Egyptians felt that she was reflective of the Nile River, that as the Nile spread out across Egypt and brought life-giving force through its inundation, the flooding that happened every year that brought the rich return of the water and all the rich soil and dirt that could then be planted, which of course doesn't happen now because of the Aswan Dam, and the inundation doesn't happen anymore. But in ancient Egyptian times, inundation was critical, and the whole next season of life depended on that. So the goddess Nut, with her beautiful starry body, she's full of 5-pointed stars, representing her human children as the star seeds born to earth and destined to return to the divine home she holds for us. She is depicted on coffin lids and the ceilings of tombs all over Egypt. She's the mother of Nephthys and Set, Osiris and Isis, and Isis brings the inundation of the Nile. The ancient law of as above, so below is perfectly expressed in this relationship between Nut and the Nile. So, as the Nile reflected the body of Nut on earth, so Nut spread out across the sky, giving her life-giving support to her children by birthing them onto earth and then receiving them back into her body when the journey was over. She's the great cosmic mother. She's the Milky Way goddess. At night, she swallows Ra, the sun, and then she gives birth to him again each morning after he passes through her body during the night. So she's the symbol of death and rebirth. So if you're not familiar with Newt, perhaps you will be by the time this meditation is over. And if you are familiar with her, I'm sure, as I do, you hold her in my heart and in your heart, and in great gratitude. I've been to Egypt twice, and whenever I'm in her temple, I literally fall to my knees weeping. She is the great mother to me. So whenever we do a guided meditation, we always want to set an intention for the journey. So I invite you to get comfortable. Make sure you have everything you need around you. And our intention for this journey is to be with the Nile River during its inundation, the flooding, when the water returns, and experience a spiritual and personal renewal as well. So where in your life do you feel the need for renewal? What qualities do you desire to rise within you? Where do you feel the need for restoration? Where have you been depleted and desire a rebirth? How do you offer reciprocity in your life? What new seeds are you ready to plant to flourish within you? So as you let this intention settle in, start being aware of your breath. Close your eyes, relax. Feel your breath within you and allow it to grow. Each breath more full and expansive than the last. Breathing in, feeling your chest and your lungs expand. Breathing out, releasing the spent energy within you. Breathe in. Fill yourself with the river of life-giving oxygen flowing into you. Breathe out, releasing the old, anticipating the new to come to you. You find yourself walking along the shore of the Nile in ancient Egypt times. The water level is low, leaving large areas of exposed land pocked with mud. The lingering odor of dead fish prevails. You long for the fresh smell of running water. There is a general feeling of depletion within you, of long waiting to be filled with newness, to feel the regeneration of your life, your purpose, your reserves. As you walk along, you see water birds poking expectantly in the mud, looking for any little remains that they might glean. The fields behind you are empty. Children are quiet in the heat. Women prepare a meager meal with the last remains of the winter stores. Old men sit idly watching the river. Everyone seems to be waiting on the river. You hear your name called out. Someone is hailing you from a boat on the river, far out in front of you. You see some boards stretched out to reach the water's edge, and you walk to them. Stepping onto these boards, you cross the mud and the swampy area out to the flowing part of the river. You reach the boat where a guide waits for you and invites you on your journey. Notice what the boat is like. Who is your guide? Is this someone you recognize? Notice what you can about the guide. Perhaps notice what you are wearing. Let yourself feel comfortable being around this boat and this guide, because you're safe. And feeling safe, you know your desire for change has been heard, and you accept your guide's invitation and its assistance in getting into the boat. So now that you're in the boat, you settle into your seat, and the guide pushes away from the shallow edge and enters the larger flow of the Nile. Notice the scenes on and around the river. The sunlight sparkling on the water. White egrets, beautiful birds sitting atop clumps of water lilies. An occasional cow swims from the shore to a small island, looking for any remaining grass to eat. Birds fly overhead. Even in the time of low waters, life flows here. You feel the joy of being on the river, being carried along its life-giving flow. Perhaps you put your hand in the water and feel the beauty of the Nile water on your hand. As you watch the scenery change in front of you, you notice the growing image of a building downstream. As you get closer, you see it as a temple. You see the wide portico with its columns reaching high into the Egyptian sky. Seeing this temple, you get a feeling of familiarity, as if you have been here before. Happiness and excitement grow within you as the boat brings you closer to the temple. Your guide steers the boat into a docking area that is flooded with water for access right next to the temple. Steep stone steps rise out of the water and up to the temple grounds. Your guide secures the boat and helps you out onto the stairs. You begin to walk up the stairs. How does it feel to be walking up these stairs toward this temple? Notice now how you look, what you're wearing. Notice all you can about the temple, the stairs, and how you're feeling as you move up onto the courtyard of the temple. Notice your surroundings, the tall columns painted with rich colors and glyphs, brightly painted scenes of people drawing water from the river, animals drinking at the river's edge, crocodiles half submerged in the water, ducks, flowers, and images of the goddess Isis. Notice the beauty of the temple. This temple was built to honor the river, the Nile, to honor Isis and the inundation. Enjoying the beauty around you, you cross the courtyard and enter into the temple. It is cool inside out of the bright sunlight. A feeling of sacredness and peace permeates the stone walls and floors. You are welcomed by an attendant who will help prepare you for further access to the temple. You are taken to a side room and given water to wash with, perfumed oil for your skin, beautiful robes to wear. You are left alone to ready yourself. What do these robes look like? Can you smell or feel the oil? Now the attendant returns and leads you out of the room into the inner sanctuary of the temple. There's a beautiful altar there, aglow with candles. The floor beneath the altar is painted to show the black dirt of Egypt, with the Nile flowing through it, flowing through this sanctuary. You can touch the altar, you can look at it and see it. Looking up, you can see the ceiling has been richly painted with a field of stars. More than stars, it is Nut, the mother of Isis, the cosmic mother to us all. Her starry form bends over the ceiling, arms and legs reaching down to the floor. Her beautiful face is serenely watching you. You are filled with a great sense of love and hope. How does it feel to be at this altar with Newt above you? The attendant leaves, and you are left alone. As you come to the altar, you're ready to make an offering to the Nile, to Isis, to Newt. You have come to make an offering, and that offering is that which is depleted in you. To offer that which is dead, to offer that which is wanting in you. What are these things that are depleted, dead, and wanting in you? You know that by offering these things here at this sacred place, they will be taken from you, that the Nile, Isis, and Newt will bring you restoration and renewal. Feeling this hope in your heart, you pour your offerings onto the altar like water, like tears flowing from you. And you pray for your restoration, for renewal, for a new beginning. The candles on the altar flicker from a faint breeze. Turning toward the breeze, you notice a stairway at the back of the sanctuary. You feel drawn to go down the stairs, and so, leaving the altar, you walk to them. They lead down. Light shimmers around the steps, the light of the sun shining off water. You can smell the water close by, and you realize these steps are going to lead you right down to the river, to the Nile. Placing your hand on a graceful railing, you walk down stone stairs. They feel cool beneath your feet. It is only a short distance until you step off the bottom stair. In front of you is a beautiful pool rimmed with precious gold and made of finely carved crystals and jewels. You stand in amazement looking at this beautiful pool. The waters of the Nile flow into it, and it is deep enough to float in. Once again, offering your prayers to Isis and Newt and the Nile, asking for the blessings of the inundation, for the flow of abundance, and all good things to return, you step into the pool, the water flowing over your body, and you float, supported by the Nile that brings life to Egypt. You float, feeling your worries drop away from you, feeling a great sense of peace and calm. Let the water soothe you. Let the water hold you. You begin to notice an incredible, delicate, and amazing scent. It fills the chamber and floods your senses, the primeval essence of purity and bliss. It seems to permeate every cell of your body, this beautiful smell. Where is it coming from? And then out of the water rises a lotus. A pure white flower is emitting this heavenly aroma. The lotus is shining in its own light, radiant. It rises from the depths of the river below where the old and cast-off parts of life have settled, rotted, and become the fertile womb for this amazing flower. You remember your offerings at the altar, what you cast off that no longer gave you life, no longer fed you, and, like the bottom mud of the Nile, became the food for renewal, for blossoming. As you look at the lotus, you can see the stems of it in the water below, rising up, strong, resilient, providing the structure and support for the precious flower that now rests on the water. You think about the structure in your life that supports all that is beautiful in you. The broad leaves of the lotus reach out to you, inviting you to become a part of it. The divine beauty wants to hold you, support you. You raise yourself out of the water and onto the leaves of the lotus, feeling its strength, its support. And you settle and lay back on the lotus, feeling the grace of the Nile that provides this life and beauty. The aroma of the flower seems to be lifting you up. You are a part of the blossom now, unfolding in beauty and perfection. And as you lay on the lotus, you can feel the waters below you begin to rise. The water level in the pool is becoming higher. The inundation has occurred. Gently, the waters rise in the pool, overflowing it, filling the entire chamber. You rise up and up on the lotus. You rise up and out of the temple. You rise up and into the night sky until you are floating in the stars. And there is Nut, the great sky mother, stretched out over you, protecting you. You are her star-seed child, living and experiencing the earthly realm. Feel yourself held in the starry womb of Nut, ever connected to her. Feel yourself nourished and fed, renewed by her love and eternal nurturing. Nut is here to guide you, to help you. Talk to Nut. Feel her love and listen to what she tells you. You can ask her questions. You can receive her wisdom. And you have this time with Nut. And now the night sky dims and the shape of Nut begins to fade. But before her figure is gone, you see the first light of sun coming out of the night, Ra emerging from the body of Nut as she gives birth to a new day. Ra rises, his rays reaching out across the sky. You feel the dawn within you. You feel that awakening you have prayed for and waited for, and you rejoice in this new beginning. As Ra fills the sky, you gently drift back to stand next to the Nile. Your feet are now grounded on the rich Egyptian soil. Like the topsoil newly deposited by the Nile, you are ready to be planted with the seeds of a new beginning. Full of gratitude, you want to offer gifts to the river, to Isis and to Nut. What gifts do you give now? Offer your gifts. See your gifts accepted. Nut has left a gift for you with the Nile as well. It is rising up out of the water now. Reach out and accept your gift from Nut. What is it she has given you? Cherish this gift from Nut. And now, taking a last look around you, you realize it is time for you to return now. Return to your life richly renewed, knowing that you can return to Nut and the Nile any time that you need to, any time you want to. But for now, bring your focus back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling your body. You are back now in this time and space. Breathing in, breathing out. And you are filled with the inundation of spirit. You are filled with the blessing of Newt. And when you're ready, open your eyes and be present back with yourself in this time and space. You might want to take some time to journal your experiences. They're easier to remember if we write them down, and sometimes when we write them down, we remember things that we didn't realize we remembered about our experience. And then you might want to have a drink of water and maybe a little bit of food to help reground you. And offer your thanks and gratitude to our Mother Newt, to Isis, to the Nile, to the beautiful life-flowing river of spirit that flows through you, and for all the riches that you bring and all the riches that grow within you. I thank you for this time together. Many blessings to you. This is Catherine Ravenwood saying goodbye.